Hey folks, so today we're at the church. The crew and I are down here at the church, and I'm trying to deal with this raised bed today. I've got all my materials. I had to kind of come up with a plan. Last year, then I was asked to make over this raised bed, and it was in the middle of summer, and I came down and tried to dig it and start cultivating it, and it was so thickly matted with weeds and grass. You can see it's just like the lawn. It is so dense, and we have clay soil here, so by the middle of summer then our soil is just set up like cement. You really, unless you've already cultivated it, then you really can't work with it at that point. I mean, you have to soak anything that you want to dig. So anyway, so I'm here today. I've got some flowers and my tool bag and a decorative raised bed that we made, and then in the back here got some mulch and some soil and weed fabric. So what happened is I never did deal with this last year because it was in the middle of summer and I couldn't work with it at that point. But a few weeks ago then our pastor had a stroke, and so we have a small rural congregation here, so it's really important that individuals step up and try to do what we can. You know, it's really important that everybody participate or else things don't get done. And I hadn't realized that our pastor was doing so much of the gardening and general upkeep at the church himself, and really hadn't said anything to anybody. He was just kind of doing most of it, and when his stroke happened, then, you know, suddenly there was no one to do those things. So anyway, so a few of us step forward and, you know, try to do what we can, but I'll kind of show you what this bed is like. There's some, I don't know if you can see, because the fellow that offered to do the mowing, he went ahead and mowed this down, because like 2 weeks ago it was 1.5 feet or 2 foot high, just eyesore out in front of the church. So you can see that there's like some irises that he mowed off, and there's also apparently some tulip bulbs in here that were contributed by another church member, and I was going to try to dig those out and see if I can save any of them, but it's pretty densely matted. So my plan is to cover what's here, just cover it and just make it look clean and fresh for this season, and then next year then we'll be able to remove the cover and hopefully have a clean slate to work with and be able to cultivate it and put anything we want here. So I'm going to get going with that, and I'll just, if you guys have a project like this that seems, you know, so overgrown that you can't tackle it, then hopefully this will give you some ideas about what you can do to clean it up for this season and make it more workable for next. So I'll take you through the process. Let's get started. Okay, so I've got all my weed block fabric down, and then this is the cross that we built. We actually thought about going with 2x6, but we just went ahead and went with 2x4 because it's already on top of a raised bed, and we didn't really want it to be raised. We just wanted it to define the shape. So next I'm going to go ahead and fill it with soil and do the planting, and then we're just going to simply surround it with red mulch, and then next year when we want to do something different with this bed, it'll be easy for us to remove the red mulch and remove the shape if we wish, and, you know, or plant something else, you know, or actually we could next year perhaps take up some of the weed stop and plant flowers or something in the surrounding area and leave the raised bed shape if we wanted to. So it just really opens up our options, I guess, for next year is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead with my next step. Okay, so next step. I've got the cross form filled with soil and planted out with flowers. It took a little while to plant them out, and my hands are really, really gardenerific, I guess. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill with mulch. I don't know if I'm going to have enough mulch, but I'll go ahead and spread it around and see how far I get. So I got this far and ran out of mulch. So I just loaded everybody in the car and we're going to go get some more mulch. Maybe, I don't know, I'd like to be on the generous side, so maybe 5 more bags. So stay tuned. So here's the finished project, guys. I think that looks pretty nice. It's just a clean, simple arrangement, and I'm probably going to put a couple other ornaments in the mulch. But if you have a situation where you need to get back to a blank slate and just make it look clean for now, you know, something like this might work for you. If you can't, you know, till it up and weed it out, then cover it up, right?